Yeah. Good evening. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Hello. We're going to present Arabic poetry, and first of all, I just wanted to tell you a bit about Arabic in Africa. Many of you probably do not know to what extent Arabic is really so much a language which is cultivated by Africans. It's from the probably around the 11th century when when the Islam was actually introduced among the Africans. Arabic had become actually one of the languages so much studied and learned, to the extent that we had at the University of Timbuktu, for instance, in the 12th century, which became very, very famous, and you had so many scholars which came out of it. Now, that's just a little I just wanted to, and there are two types of actually Arabic poetry I wanted to. We have what we call the real Arabic poetry. People wrote Arabic poetry just like them. And there is what we call the Ajami poetry. The Ajami is the Arabic written, the poems written in the various languages, but with Arabic script. One of the poems that we would like to read, in fact, is one of these Ajami poems. So, with much ado, I would like Nana to start.
I'd like to begin with a tribute to the African and the diaspora. This evening is poetry in African languages. And I'd like to begin with Langston Hughes' poem, I Too. I too sing America. I am the darker brother. They set me to eat in the kitchen when company comes, but I laugh and eat well and grow strong. Tomorrow, I'll be at the table when company comes. Nobody will dare say to me, eat in the kitchen. Then, besides, they'll see how beautiful I am and be ashamed. I too am America. And I love this poem because for me, they just didn't get to sit at the table, but today, President Obama sits at the highest table. And that's why I find the poem beautiful. Our next poem is by Nana Asmau Dan Fodio. She is the daughter of a famous Nigerian poet, and she writes in Arabic. And I read an elegy by her. She lost a friend, and she wrote this elegy to her, and the poem is in Arabic. I read in Arabic, and Munir reads in English. شعر أسماء بنت عثمان بن فوديو في مرثية صديقتها وحبيبتها عائشة بنت عمر الكريم. أعيني جودا وأبكي لي حبيبتي والسلوة أحزاني والمساوي لوحشتي فجودا بسبك دمعي من فقد عائشة كريمة أحبابي لدين صديقتي وأثني عليها بسجاجة والحياة والدين وأخلاق وحسان وردية حسان ردية وذكر وأوراد وتسبيحانا كذا قراءة قرآن فنعم حبيبتي وكتبت النظم الآن لأن لم يكن مثلها لدي من الإخوان يا طول فكرتي وآنستني من توحش خاطري وكم خدمت عندي بأحسن خدمة فيا طول حزني بعدها وفتوردي وكثرة أشجاني ويا طول وحشتي ألم تعلموا أن المحبة لم تكن لبعد لها شيء إذا ما استقرت ولا ولد يسلي المحب ولا أخ ولا مسكن زاه ولا جمع قنوة فمن أجل ذا أمسي فؤادي مبلبلا شجيا يعالي زفرة بعد زفرة وذلت دموع العين في سبك دائما ولو أنها لم تنقضي لاستقلت فإني بحكم الله رادية إنما أراعي بما قد قلت حق الأخوة فلا إثم حقا للرثاء فقد رثى النبي أبو سفيان بعد الوقيئة وأبكي عليها بدموعي ترمحا وشوكا وتحنانا لصدق المودة ولم ينهى عن هذا النبي وإنما نهى عن صراخات وآهة وأدعو الإله أن يؤمن خوفها ويزرقها الرحمن حسن المثوبة ويغفر عن زلالتها ويثيبها بما أحسنت لي بالرضا وبنعمتي ويزرقها لقي النبي وشحينا وقدوة المشهور عن الأحبة ويوسع مأواها يدخل إذن أن البعث في أعلى الجبال العلية بجاه النبي المصطفى سيد الورى عليه صلاة الله في كل لحظة.
Oh, my eyes weep liberally for my loved one, as consolation for my grief and companion for my gloom. Shed copious tears for the loss of Aisha, the noblest of my dear ones of my age, my friend. I praise her for her worship, her modesty, religion, morals, and glad kindness. For the way she said her dhikr, word, and prayer beads, as well as her reading of the Quran, what a dear friend. This poem was written because there is no one else like her from among the brethren. How long my nights dwell on her. How often she helped me to forget my own grief, and how often she helped me most kindly. The depth of my sadness and loneliness after her death has grown. Oh, the multitude of sorrows, the deepening of my gloom. Know you not that love, when firmly established, is priceless. There is no child who could make me forget that love, and no brother, nothing which could soothe me, not even all sort of riches. Therefore my heart withers from worrying, sign after sign rises up from my grave. Tears have continued to flow constantly as if they would never dwindle or cease. As for me, I'm contented with God's judgment. I abide by the things I said with regard to the brethren. It's not sin to make a lamentation. For Abu Sufyan elegized the Prophet Muhammad after his passing away. I cry for her with tears of compassion and of longing and sympathy for her and love and friendship. The Prophet did not prohibit this, but he prohibited screaming. I pray that God will allay her fears and that the merciful one will provide her with good reward and forgive her lapses and reward her for the good things she did for me gladly and graciously. Allow her to be the Prophet and our Sheikh and his famous example, the best of loved ones. May he widen her resting place and grant her entry to the highest place in paradise at the day of resurrection. By the glory of the Prophet, the chosen one, the leader of mankind, may the blessing of God be upon him at every moment.